There are some things that I had to learn on my own throughout my teenage years that I wish somebody had better told me. So, I'm going to be giving you guys 20 pieces of advice so that you guys can get a head start on your journey and your life and don't have to go through trial and error like I did.
Number 1, trust God wholeheartedly.
The truth of the matter is, God knows and sees everything that we do. He knows it all. There is no need to hide it from Him. Surely He will work it out for the greater good of those who love Him. He's not stopping us from doing anything that we want to do, but He will guide us and He will protect us. We must be receptive to His word because He created everything. And it can be snatched away in a second if we don't fully accept that God is the author of everything. The truth of the matter is, we won't be taking these things when we go to the grave. And what will really matter is, did you do what I told you to do? And the last thing that we want to be filled with is regret. So, prioritize God always. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life, whether you're high in the mountain or low in the valley. Trust that God is working everything out for your good, and live freely in that truth.
Number 2, use your time wisely.
There is more than enough time in a day to complete what needs to be completed. And I know what you might be thinking right now. Sean, I have so many things to do. Trust me, I know. There are so many things in my personal life that I deal with on a day-to-day basis that I have to tend to, that sometimes make me take my attention off of what I'm supposed to do. However, I still find the time to complete what I know needs to be completed. I don't necessarily just put it off and say, oh, I'm going to do it later, or blame anybody or anything because of not taking advantage. But more so, I time block, and I usually make sure that I'm the first person up in my household before anybody else is, so that I can get a head start to the day. So, use your time wisely.
Number 3, stay true to yourself.
In life, you are going to be swayed by many opinions of other people, but always remember to stay true to yourself. Don't try to fit into a box for somebody else's sake, because the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, it all lies on you. It lies on what you want for your future and the choices that you know you need to make to better help yourself. Walk some dark roads by yourself, without anybody. It may seem hard, and it may look lonely, but in due time, it'll get you to where you want to be.
Number 4, practice gratitude.
There are so many things to be grateful for that are oftentimes overlooked. When I was a kid, I used to complain about everything. I completely hated my life, except for my family. I loved them wholeheartedly, and even though things were a winding road, I still had love for them in my heart, no matter how they treated me. Don't hold a grudge against anybody. It's not worth it for yourself and for them either. Forgive and keep moving forward, running towards the prize that is Christ Jesus. Because if you keep on holding a grudge, it's just going to set you back further and further and further, and you'll always be thinking of it when you're trying to stay busy and locked in. So forgive, plan out what will be implemented in the days to come, and move on.
Number 5, watch the company that you keep.
As it's written throughout the Bible, the type of people that you surround yourself with ultimately dictate your future. And I know you might be thinking, what? Yeah, trust me. I asked that same question when I was your age. But then later on, I realized that it was actually true. I used to smoke weed, and quite evidently, I found myself around those same people. And what I thought was cool at the time, later on came to haunt me, and still does to this day oftentimes. And truthfully, not everybody has your best interest at heart. They might tell you, they might show you, but when push comes to shove, you'll know for sure if they have your best interest at heart or if they don't. So always spend your time with like-minded people who have the same interests as you and who know better than you.
Number 6, stop living in comparison.
The more you compare your life to other people, the more and more envious you will be. You might even do something out of character that you didn't even mean to do, but because of your thinking and the way that you were looking at things, you do it. And then later on, things come to haunt you, and you feel guilty, even though you were acting out of your emotions and not what was truly spoken onto you, which was the firm foundation. So don't look at me thinking that I have things all together at times and my life is perfect, even though I try to make it like that at times. Because the truth of the matter is, we're all fighting a battle that nobody knows about. It doesn't matter how rich, how poor, it doesn't matter. We are all dealing with things that very few, if none, know about. And as cliche as it may sound, money cannot do anything about it. So, don't compare yourself. Enjoy the journey that you're on right now, and be faithful where you are.
Number 7, make and maintain promises to yourself.
It's one thing to keep a promise to somebody else, but when you keep a promise to yourself, you'll feel more inclined to maintain it because it's something that you said to yourself versus you saying it to somebody else. And it's good to keep promises to other people too, but it feels a little bit harder to do it. Example, if you tell me that you're going to wake up at 7 o'clock a.m., but then later on you snooze the alarm hundreds of times and you wake up at 11 a.m., then you've just told me that you're not a man of your word. And granted, there are days where we don't want to get up and do things, but we have to find a way to keep on going amidst the storm. And remember the promises that you spoke over yourself, because God is watching.
Number 8, take advantage of every opportunity.
You might not think of it at times, but the truth is, you have so many opportunities right in front of your face. You can do anything that you want to do. You can be anything that you want to be in this country. There are many countries that are rule restricted. You can only do certain things at certain times. Versus over here, where if you work hard and you follow the law and hang with the right people, then surely you become the person you dreamed of becoming. So take advantage of each and every single opportunity that you have. Do not let it pass you by, because we are all living on borrowed time. And the worst thing that you want to happen to yourself is to be stuck in the place that you were. Take advantage of what you have right now, right here.
Number 9, stop worrying about things out of your control.
There are some things in your life that are out of your reach. And if they're out of your reach, they shouldn't even be in your mind. And I know sometimes you may want control over it, but then think of it like this. if you have control over that thing that you think you need control over, whether it be money, whatever, what are you really going to do with it? And do you really think it's going to add any more happiness to your life? Or is it going to take away that value from your life? You can only control so much. And you do not need any more stressors in your life that you currently have right now. So focus on what you can control, and what you cannot control, pray it out. God will work it out for you, but you have to pray it out. Do not hold it in.
Number 10, change your perception.
Every time you look at something as a chore, something that you have to do, you feel less and less motivated to do it because you feel like you're doing it for somebody else. But if you see it as a new chance to grow, or as an exercise for your mind and your body, then you will be more inclined to do it. So instead of saying that, oh, I have to do this, and granted, sometimes we're all guilty of this, so there's no need for negativity here. But instead of saying that I have to do this, say that I get to do this. I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have to do what I'm doing and to grow and to become the person that I want to be through God. It will change your life for the better, and you will be so much more grateful, content, and happier. Granted, you'll still have some times of trouble, but when they come, you won't even think of them because you'll be too busy rejoicing.
Number 11, treat your parents with respect.
Your parents gave you the ultimate gift, which is life. You are here because of them. You did not get here on your own, okay? I don't care what any of these gurus say. You are not self-made. You're here because your parents decided that they wanted a light. They wanted a child. If they didn't make that decision, you wouldn't be here today. Let's just face it. So always show gratitude towards them. And always learn from their mistakes and from yours as well. Think about all the times that you got spanked for doing something wrong. Okay? Do you think that if you didn't get spanked, that you would learn the things and go through the hardships to make you into the person that you are today? Probably not. So don't deem it as harmful or as child abuse, but look at the value that it taught you and stick with it and share it wholeheartedly with those who are also dealing with similar situations. When I was a kid, I used not to talk to my dad a lot, primarily because I didn't think I needed him that much in my life. I was pretty close with my mom, but it wasn't until she passed away from cancer that I had to realize, and even then, I still didn't talk to him as much. But I knew later on that I had to just start talking to him. Okay, I couldn't hold anything back. Otherwise, it was going to affect me for the rest of my life. And I would be filled with regret of not spending time with my dad and talking to him, getting everything out. Now we talk more, but still to this day, I wonder what our relationship would be like if we had started this a long time ago. So, form a relationship with your parents when you can and while you can. They won't be here forever.
Number 12, speak positive of yourself and others.
The more positively you speak about yourself, you feel like a light. The more negatively you speak over yourself and others, you feel like a burden. You feel guilty. You feel unworthy. And it also says in the Bible, judge not, or you will be judged. So always speak positively over yourself. It doesn't matter what circumstance you are in. Speak positively over yourself and about other people, and refrain from using words like, I can't, I don't have the skills, XYZ, XYZ, and so on and so forth. More so, instead of saying, I suck at this, or I can't do this, or I will never be able to do this, start asking yourself, how can I do this? Or what do I want in this life? Or how can I learn what I need to learn to get to where I want to be through the Spirit of God? Speak life, not death, as the song says by Toby Mac.
Number 13, be optimistic.
Don't be so stuck in the same old pattern for so long that you become stagnant. Okay? Learn something new, whatever it is. Okay? I have always loved, and still do to this day, making videos. And I wanted to do it for so long, but I kept on putting it off because of so many worldly obligations. But it wasn't until that I first started my YouTube channel about a year ago that I found something that I love doing, which is making, editing, posting videos to YouTube and social media. But I would have never done any of that if I was stuck in my pessimistic mindset, which sometimes this world teaches us to have it. So always be open to trying new things, and do not stay stuck in the same old pattern of life, remaining stagnant.
Number 14, don't partake in drugs.
You might think it's a game, but it's truly ruining your life. And I had to learn this the hard way, so don't feel alone in what I'm about to say. Quitting it is harder than it seems. Don't even partake in it. Don't even think of doing it. Because truth of the matter is, the more and more you keep on doing it, the more you get used to it, and then the more you depend on it. And then when you try to quit, it just backslides, and then later on you'll go into withdrawal symptoms, and even worse, try cold turkey and possibly pass away. I used to do drugs for 3.5, a little bit towards 4 years, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun, quite frankly. But it wasn't until I realized that it was permanently damaging my brain, and even worse, damaging relationships around me, that I still work on to this day, trying to maintain them with those that love me and I love as well. But don't do drugs. It's not worth it. Your life matters more than a pill.
Number 15, do a self-check before going to bed.
Throughout the day, we deal with so much to the point where the average person, us, think 60,000 thoughts per day. Might sound crazy, but it's true. That is 60,000 things that are in our mind, whether it's spiritual, physical, whatever it is. There are 60,000 things that are sitting in our mind, anxious and breaking at the seams, wanting to be free. So take some time to check up on yourself while you can. Ask yourself, what did I do today to get better? More so, where am I at and what do I need to work on? It may feel tedious and you may feel like it's just a waste of time, but you never know what that time could do for your life. Before, I used to just run through my days, head on like the unstoppable train from the movie Unstoppable, 777. But it wasn't until I realized I was staying in the same place in my life and I was completely tired that I started to get realistic with myself. Meaning, before I go to bed, I check up on myself. I say what I'm grateful for. And then I tell myself the things that I need to work on. And then after that, I start planning out my day in my mind. I already do it before I go to bed on Google Calendar, but I start speaking it over to myself, which has helped me a lot because now I know what I'm supposed to do so that way I'm on point, I'm on game, and I'm not worried about the next move.
Number 16, stay confident.
The more and more confidence that you build, the more resilient you will be. And the more happy you will be too. You'll feel free. You won't feel like you're carrying 100-pound weight, but you'll feel light as a feather. In the past, I used to lack that. I hated myself. I hated the way that I looked. I thought I wasn't qualified to do anything. But when I met Jesus, all that flew out the window. And I still have my doubts from time to time. But I always remember of all of the goodness and the confidence that is there inside of me and around me. So always remain confident. You can do so much more than what you're doing right now. And even though you may be comfortable where you're at right now, understand that spot can be taken with the snap of a finger. So always be confident and always strive for the heights.
Number 17, be okay with failure.
You might not have it all together, and guess what? It's okay, because the one who made the heavens and the universe has everything all together. So understand that sometimes you may fail, and that is completely okay, because as said by many inspirational people, failure is the key to success. Because if you don't fail, if you don't realize what you did wrong, then you'll never learn what you need to do to make sure that you don't repeat the same mistake again. So be okay with failing. And I know it may seem cliche and it may seem hard, but you never know what it could do for your life and the lessons you can learn from it. So fall in love with failure. And sadly, our education system teaches us to fear failure. That failure is a bad thing, that we shouldn't fail, and that failure is not an option. But let me tell you the real definition of failure. Giving up. Throwing in the towel. Saying, I'm done. I quit. I can't do this. That's real failure. Failure in work because things didn't go right, that's not necessarily real failure. Diving a little bit deeper, that's not necessarily crucial failure either, because you still have everything that you need. It's only when you allow yourself to believe that nothing is going to work out and that things are going to remain the same that failure kicks in. I used to live with this mindset until I realized that sometimes it's okay to fail. Even recently, I was reshifting my YouTube channel banner and description because I wanted it to better fit to you guys, so that you guys understand what it is that I am trying to do and who I'm trying to become and pretty much who I am. And I was really thinking hard on it because I didn't necessarily want to keep on editing it all the time, because I knew that would just be a big mess up. So much to the point where I let it get to my head, but I had to stop and take a breath and realize that, you know what, it's okay, because then I will know what I need to be doing moving forward so that I don't repeat the same error again. So don't fear failure, follow it.
Number 18, be in the moment where you are.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, be there in that moment. Do not be anywhere else than where you are right now. For example, I'm filming this video. I know that I need to focus on filming this video. I can't take my attention off of what I'm doing for anything else until I am finished. Because if you're not at the place where you're supposed to be, then 9 times out of 10, you'll always feel that way, and you'll always think that you need to be striving for more. And half of the time, you'll just be in a rut every single time. And it may do some damage to your internal peace of mind. So be where you are. Whatever you're doing, just be there. If you're driving, drive. Be where you are so that you don't miss the moments and the opportunity that is right there.
Number 19, be okay with being criticized.
It sounds cliche, but sometimes criticism can actually be a good thing, because it'll teach you what you need to do the next time you're encountered in a similar or exact situation that you were in. For example, let's say that you're trying out for the volleyball team and you were doing good. You practiced beforehand. You gave it your all. You went through all the vocabulary, and you're showing up at practice, and you go through it. You go through what they tell you to do to the T, and then they call you and tell you that, hey, you need to work on your form, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. Don't throw a tantrum when that's said to you. Instead, see it as an opportunity to keep on getting better and keep on learning. Be okay with being criticized. It's not the end of the world. And lastly, the most important piece of advice that I can give to you all.
Number 20, live life. Don't let it live you.
We only get one shot at this thing called life. There's no do-over. There's no going back to when we were younger. There's only right now with what we have. And the clock ain't stopping for nobody. So take each day very lightly, but also very seriously, knowing that your time is limited. Do what you can do. And do not let life or the things of this life keep you stuck. More so, do not be conformed by the pattern of this world, but be transformed and renewed in God's Spirit on a daily basis. Set your eyes on things above, not on this earth, because you're only here for a limited time. But have fun, okay? Go out with your friends. Go to the beach. Do everything that you want to do on this earth while you are still here, while you are still very, very young, because things are going to be the same 5, 10, 15, 25, however many years from now. Things are going to change. Okay? You're going to get grown. So do everything that you can. Stay up late. Do whatever it is, but just have fun, okay? Relax. Don't worry. Just chill. Be young. guys have so much more potential to grow and become the individual that you want to be. So do not waste a single second stressing or worrying about anything, more so comparing yourself to other people. Alright? Be a child. Be loved. Be a light, okay? We're all gonna make it through. Best believe it. I hope this video was a blessing over to your life. Make sure to share it with somebody who is in need of it as well. I love you all with my whole heart, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.